There is a metaphor that appears in the Atharva Veda, a metaphor for the profound cosmology and outlook that permeates Hinduism. Indra's net symbolizes the universe as a web of connections and interdependencies among all its members, wherein every member is both a manifestation of the whole and inseparable from the whole. Today, it is regarded as the foundation for Vedic cosmology, and it went on to become the central principle of Buddhism, and from there spread into mainstream Western discourse across several disciplines. The metaphor of Indra's net originates from the Atharva Veda, one of the four Vedas, which likens the world to a net woven by the great deity Shakra or Indra. The net is said to be infinite and to spread in all directions with no beginning or end. At each node of the net is a jewel, so arranged that every jewel reflects all the other jewels. No jewel exists by itself independently of the rest. Everything is related to everything else. Nothing is isolated. Indeed, the fundamental idea of unity in diversity underpins all dharmic traditions. Even though there are many perspectives from which Indra's net may be viewed and appreciated, it is ultimately recognized as one indivisible and infinite unity. From the Hindu viewpoint, the one that manifests as many is named Brahman. Even seemingly disparate elements are in fact nothing other than reflections of Brahman and hence of one another. This notion of an organic unity is a signature of Hinduism and distinguishes it from all major Western religions, philosophies, and cultures. Each jewel of Indra's net includes the reflections of all the other jewels. The significance of this symbolism is that each entity in the universe contains within itself the entire universe. This idea, rather than positing interdependence among separately existing entities, asserts that the whole does not owe its existence to the coming together of individual parts that have independent existence. Indeed, the existence of each individual part is contingent upon and relative to the existence of the whole and of all the other parts. Yet paradoxically, each individual part also contains the whole within itself. Put simply, the whole and the parts are inseparable. Every jewel in Indra's net is a microcosm of the whole net. Every component is the cause of the whole and also the effect of the whole. Nothing exists outside the net. In the Hindu worldview, the only essence that ultimately exists is Brahman. Brahman is the foundation for Indra's net, and no jewel exists apart from Brahman. The jewels of Indra's net are not meant to symbolize static substances. Each jewel is merely a reflection of other jewels, and individual jewels always remain in flux. Each jewel exists only momentarily to be continuously replaced by its successor in mutual causation with other jewels. Just as the interdependent cells of the human body are perpetually changing, so also everything in Indra's net is perpetually in flux. Reality is always in the flux of becoming. This concept is different from the notion of real, independently existing entities undergoing modification or static entities that happen to be woven together. Indra's net and Buddhism. Important Buddhist texts use Indra's net to describe an infinite universe with no beginning or end, in which every element is mutually related to every other element. Indra's net is a quintessential metaphor for Buddhist philosophy, describing how everything exists only in mutual causation with everything else, and nothing can be isolated. The Avatamsaka Sutra, which means flower garland of Mahayana Buddhism, uses the metaphor of Indra's net to explain cosmic interpenetration. This sutra explains everything as both a mirror reflecting all and an image reflected by all. Everything is simultaneously cause and effect, support and supported. This important sutra was translated from Sanskrit, and its logic further developed in China under the name of Huayan Buddhism. The Huayan tradition was developed by a series of thinkers, most notably Fa-Tsang, who lived from 643 to 712 CE. Through him, it passed on to Korea and other East Asian countries, becoming known as Kegon in Japan. Huayan is praised as the highest development of Chinese Buddhist thought. D.T. Suzuki called Huayan the philosophy of Zen, and Zen the meditation practice of Huayan. Francis Cook explains the core philosophy of Huayan as follows. Far away in the heavenly abode of the great god Indra, there is a wonderful net that has been hung by some cunning artificer in such a manner that it stretches out infinitely in all directions. In accordance with the extravagant tastes of deities, the artificer has hung a single glittering jewel in each eye of the net. And since the net itself is infinite in all dimensions, the jewels are infinite in number. There hang the jewels, glittering like stars of the first magnitude, a wonderful sight to behold. If we now arbitrarily select one of these jewels for inspection and look closely at it, we will discover that in its polished surface there are reflected all the other jewels in the net, infinite in number. Not only that, but each of the jewels reflected in this one jewel is also reflecting all the other jewels, so that there is an infinite reflecting process occurring. Francis Cook goes on to explain that Indra's net symbolizes a cosmos in which there is an infinitely repeated interrelationship among all the members of the cosmos. He adds that the cosmos is, in short, a self-creating, self-maintaining, and self-defining organism. Furthermore, there is no theory of a beginning time, and such a universe has no hierarchy. There is no center, or perhaps if there is one, it is everywhere. Huayan is built on the primary concern of Indian thought, which is about the nature of causation. This is evident in the Sanskrit name for Huayan, Dharmadhatu Pratitya Samutpada, the interdependent co-arising which is the universe. Key principles of Madhyamika Buddhism regarding non-substantiality and non-origination have exact equivalence in Huayan. The Avatamsaka philosophy emphasizes the illusory nature of things when they are seen separately.